soldier the size of an insect.
So where are we? What are you up to?
So we're day 66 of our shoot. We only have about 2 more weeks of principal photography, and it's going really well. So we're in downtown Atlanta today. We're shooting in a neighborhood, and it's a scene where Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, is coming to pay a visit to his ex-wife and daughter.
This is your chance to earn that look in your daughter's eyes.
It's one of the interesting things about Ant-Man because he, I think, is the only superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who's a parent. You know, he starts out the movie, he's just gotten out of prison, and so he's trying to make all these amends in his life, and he's sort of trying to find redemption.
Second chances don't come around all that often. I suggest you take a really close look at it.
It's been a blast. It's been a unique and wild ride for sure. There's real comfort and excitement working on something like this, knowing that Marvel is behind it and that they want to make it unique and interesting.
When you're small, you have superhuman strength.
I mean, I'm only here because of Edgar Wright, who was originally directing the movie. He's the guy who hired me. He's the guy who brought me into the whole thing. He's the reason I'm even here, so I'm indebted to him greatly. I was really excited about working with him. When Marvel and Edgar parted ways, I was pretty bummed out about it. It was really, I think, just truly a kind of a clashing of styles, and I think they all parties realized it early on, and maybe not as early on as everyone would have liked it to have been. But separate from that, the actual role and the material and the adventure of it all was really appealing. It was different than anything that I'd ever done. After Edgar left the project, we really lucked out by getting Peyton on board because he's such a great director, a great guy, loves the material. He knew about Ant-Man. He's a comic book fanatic.
It's not about saving our world. It's about saving theirs.
You know, as a kid, Ant-Man really was one of my favorites. So to sort of be the guy to bring that character to the Marvel Universe has been great.
I hope you don't mind. Earlier I was at Pinewood and I tried on some of your costumes.
Oh, yeah?
And not the full suit, just the
helmet.
The helmet.
What'd you think?
I loved it. I mean, the transformation internally, the minute I put it on, I'm like...
That same thing happened to me. That first fitting that we had when I put the whole thing on, you stand differently, you feel different, and then the helmet was it was crazy.
Scott, I need you to be the Ant-Man.
Huh. One of the things that's also, I think, very fun about this is that I think even the people that exist in the movie, in the world, as these characters, recognize the fact that Ant-Man doesn't have some of this, the built-in machismo that Iron Man has.
When you're small, energy's compressed, so you have the force of a 200-pound man behind a fist 1/100th of an inch wide. You're like a bullet. You punch too hard, you kill someone. Too soft, it's a love tap. In other words, you have to know how to punch.
I was in prison for 3 years. I know how to punch.
Show me. Terrible.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me.
That's how you punch.
The training aspect, some of the action stuff and the things that I've had to do to get ready for it, that's different. I hadn't really done that before. And that's been fun and challenging and exhausting at times and a bummer at times because, you know, I haven't had a carbohydrate in a year. I mean, it's kind of a drag.
That sucks when they lay on such good craft services. I just went over there and, I mean, it was...
Oh, yeah. Was it good?
It was a lot of carbs, though. I mean, I ate pasta and rice in the same bowl.
Oh, yeah, I've had a few raw almonds. That's what I've gotten from craft service.
Ant-Man's powers are potentially the most silly powers of any Marvel character. You could look at that thing and say, well, how is that going to be cool? That's ridiculous. But the movie absolutely answers that question.
These are your greatest allies.
You're kind of cute. Oh. I shrink. Oh, and I can also talk to ants. And there's nothing sexy about that. There's nothing cool sounding about it. When I told my son who was 9, I was very excited. I got a part in this movie. I said, guess what? I'm going to play a superhero. And he's 9. I was like, that's the target. You know, that's the coolest. And he said, who are you going to play? And I said, Ant-Man. And he said, what? Ant-Man. And I said, uh-huh. And he said, well, I can't wait to see how stupid that'll be. I was like 9.
One question. Is it too late to change the name?
And with that, my time here on the set of Ant-Man in Atlanta, Georgia is done. I'm heading back to the airport, and very kindly, Paul Rudd has lent me Ant-Man's van to drive back in. Now, where did I put the keys? Oh, there they are.
Bye-bye. That's officially it. That is the end, the wrap on principal photography for Ant-Man. Thank you all.
Looking back on the movie, it was really fun to make. I mean, it happened so quickly, and it gave us all this sort of energy that it was a really collaborative thing. You know, the actors, we all worked really heavily to continue working on the script, and it was fun, which was kind of counterintuitive to me because it's a huge movie. It's a huge, small movie.
My best memory on the picture was if I had a break from shooting, I would go, there were 4 units filming. So I would go down to another stage, so the second unit, and that's where the stuntmen were working. Or you go across the street to another stage, the third unit, and that's where the special effects, where all the green screen stuff was going on. And then finally, the fourth was the macro, the ants' perspective, which was incredible. When you see the movie, it just is amazing. And I think for me, that was the most satisfying experience, is understanding how this company puts together all these units together, and then they end up with a product they've got now.
When I look back on this one, I will look back to how long the entire process was and the focus that I had with it. I think I worked harder on this than anything that I've ever done, and I loved making it. It wasn't like, oh, I popped in and did a movie for a few months, which is often the case. This was 2 years, and I found it incredibly rewarding.